Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the YTPC, or good afternoon for some of you on the East Coast like me. Decided today that I'd come back at you, old treetop piper, and do a review on Cornell and Deal's Virginia Flake, which they do sell in bulk. But I think this is, I would imagine it's probably better tin, but it says hand blended in the Carolinas. High grade Virginias are pressed into Cornell and Deal's proprietary flake chip cut, and the result is a smoke brimming with both a natural sweetness as well as a fragrance that is slightly reminiscent of orange muffins fresh from the oven. This tasty leaf packs a fine bowl straight from the bag, but also boasts excellent aging potential. So this sounds like really up my alley, and I've really been wanting to give it a try. It is relatively recent, only a couple months old, but if I like it, I will get more. I don't think it has a burley in it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But I've been really pleased with what I've tried of Cornell and Deal's stuff lately. I've really enjoyed it. I see. So basically, what we have is a night hay. Nice, definitely getting a little hay there. Some hay and sweet oats, bread, sweet bread, like Hawaiian sweet bread. Big time hay though, and it's just right. I mean, it seems like it's just right, smokable. And looking at it, you can see there are. It seems like there's quite a decent bit of red Virginia as well as bright Virginias. Let me see if I can get that in the angle there. But it's a broken flake, obviously, just chip cut, but it's not stacked in there like Quiet Nights is. It's more like just broken flake status, where they just fill the fill the can up with the broken flake. No, they don't have the little insert that comes with Quiet Nights and stuff, which that doesn't bother me one bit. But it has a nice golden reddish brown kind of a color to it. Really, actually, it's really attractive looking for as a straight up Virginia. That's what I want that to look like. That's what I want out of my straight up Virginias a lot of times. Red, golden, brown, toasted Virginias are good, darker Virginias and stuff. But to me, there isn't anything quite like a good bright Virginia and red Virginia blend, or a vapor blend. Which something I recently found out is Orlick Golden Slice has burley, or used to have burley in it back in the day. Not Perique apparently, which is totally blew my mind. But yeah, this is definitely smokable straight out of the tin, and I've noticed that is the case with a lot of Cornell and Deal blends, that you can smoke it right out of the bag. I mean, it's just ready to rock. They do just the right amount of moisture. And this is pretty. I like this cut because it's Cornell and Deal. You can count on a fresh tin to be ready to rock. This is a real. I would almost say working man style tobacco here. This is just easy peasy stuff to deal with. You can just grab and go, stuff a pipe and take off, or pack a pouch, bring a small pipe with you, and have several bowls full throughout the day. Whenever you have time to wait, there's always little doctor's appointments where you've got a little bit of spare time, where you've got 30 minutes, just enough for a small bowl. And that's what I love about these kind of Cornell and Deal blends. They have that. And I'll be right back. Forgot my lighter. Here we go. So anyhow, got my lighter on my tampers here. We're gonna go ahead and just spark this up right now. Get that charm light going. Very Virginia-y, for sure. It's got some tanginess and some sweetness. I do believe that this is available in bulk. I do believe, but I wanted to try the tinned version. Another thing I wanted to say, I've really been impressed with the Beaucarré and the Straight Up English. These two blends, I've smoked them every day since I've opened them. I've had one of both blends every day. What's funny is the Beaucarré, they almost have very similar components, but the Beaucarré is a little sweeter. Has a nice flavor to it. Nice mixture of Virginias that gives it a pretty tangy, sweet, complex flavor that a lot of times you can't get out of just one type of Virginia. And like it says on the tin, excellent for aging, and I would agree with that. I bet you a 5-year-old tin of this would probably be bang on, like some of the best Virginias out there. This has that satisfying factor. 40th anniversary has it. Bayou Morning for me has it. There are certain blends that just they hit the spot. Dunhill Navy Rolls. I would say a Scudo, but I've never had it, so I can't say. For some reason, those blends that I named, like the Navy Rolls and stuff, it seems to satisfy a need, because I used to smoke cigarettes. A straight Virginia tobacco really satisfies that old habit. Whereas my English blends, I love them, but it's the flavor and the nicotine, but it's really the experience, whereas this is really kind of I don't know, it's different. I enjoy Englishes just as much as Virginias, but Virginias remind me of cigarettes, kind of. Oh yeah. When sipped, you get dark, sweet oats, just like I was saying in the smell. It's so weird because all the smells and the flavors that I've gotten out of this tobacco, I have had all those same smells and flavors out of my uncle's pole barn or his horse stable. Because they would have like a barrel of oats for the horses for treats. They'd treat them with some oats. And then they would have the hay for them to eat, in wintertime and stuff. So it's really weird that it really brings back memories of those oat barrels. And they were like sugared oats. They had a mix. They were kind of, they clumped together. They had some kind of a maple syrup or something on them. It was just a, it was just sweetened oats. They added some sort of a syrup, a light syrup to it, to make it really enjoyable for the horses, I guess. Mm. This is like really on par with small batch Carolina Red Flake. Definitely. Oh, and I get that tang there from that whiff. Almost like the ketchupy, almost ketchupy McClellandy tang. At first, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's those red Virginias. Wow. I think that this is definitely a blend. If you're a 40th anniversary McClellan fan, you like those style blends that are red Virginias. They're not stoved or anything. This right here seems to be right. Seems to be right in the vicinity of that. I might would even say I like this better than 40th. Like, I prefer Cornell and Deal's method to McClellan's, the way they did things. Cornell and Deal's tobacco comes ready to rock. You still get that same tangy red Virginia smell. I mean, you're getting the same tobaccos from the same farms, but it's not processed with propylene glycol or whatever it is that they do. The barbecue thing is alright sometimes, but really, I always felt like it could be done without that, and Cornell and Deal has proved that. I'm telling you, this is real deal. This is reminding me of some real deal McClellan's Red Virginias. And like I've said many a time, McClellan's is out of the picture. Somebody else is, most likely Cornell and Deal is going to be putting out those good Red Virginias. And Cornell and Deal, I just have a good feeling about them. They're not afraid to do small batch stuff either, to do, once off stuff with really special tobacco. Um, you know, and they've made mistakes, and then where they recalled their Carolina Red Flake, but they always seem to, they fixed it with the second, they replaced them, gave everybody their money back for the mold, but they're also a young company, and seems to me that they've somewhat ironed out. They've ironed out some of the bumps they were having, some of the issues, and like every Cornell and Deal blend that I've and I'm a pretty astute buyer, pretty astute consumer. I'm not going to spend my money on something if I don't think I'm going to like it. I mean, if it just doesn't hit on any level, because there are certain blends that when I read the description, it hits on no level whatsoever. Not one thing about it interests me. All the components are not components I like. That happens a lot. But the stuff that I see that's kind of in my little scope of taste, I buy it and try it, and every one of them that I've tried from Cornell and Deal has been on point. On point. I haven't gotten one bad blend from them that I've picked. I typically finish their tins too. It's easy to smoke tobacco. It's tobacco that is easy to smoke. It's easy to smoke. That's how it comes off to me. It's not hard for me to burn right through a bowl. Sometimes a bowl of tobacco can be really hard to get through. Burning your tongue, not wanting to stay lit, not getting a good draw. I mean, and you're fighting and you're trying to get it to draw right. You're poking around at the embers. And it just it's labor intensive. You've constantly got to maintain the bowl. I just had one of those this morning where I would just had to constantly baby this bowl to get it to keep burning right. Whereas this kind of stuff is this stuff where you light it once while you're reading a book, and then all of a sudden you press your tamper down and it just drops to the bottom because you just burned all the way clear through without tamping it. But I mean, that happens to me only with the best stuff. The best pipes with the best tobaccos. Naturally, I would never be relighting like this because I would not be talking, I would be smoking. But this has really come out to be everything I had hoped. Everything I had hoped. Almost, it's just like Navy rolls. It really scratches that itch, that itch for that tangy bread-like Virginia. And this has a little bit of the brights, which I love, so it gives it a little sweet note when you sip on it. Tons of flavor. A ton of flavor. I can't even imagine what this would be like with 5 years on it. I may end up grabbing, 5, 10 tins of this and hanging on to this for a while. I mean, like it says, hand blended in the Carolinas. That hand blended, that's real deal stuff. That's not mass produced. Somebody did that in a batch that was small enough for a human being to do it by hand. And it's definitely gotten better, as I've gone on here. It's like, it goes, it started off a little bit muted. But now I'm getting like, just excellent, sweet, tangy notes. It's not as sweet as the Vauquerie, which leads me to believe maybe that Vauquerie has a topping on it, but this has no topping. I'm almost positive this can't. There's no way this has a topping. And this is like your 5100 red cake, practically. You could almost use this as a blending tobacco too. To spice up certain certain blends that are lacking in a good, that don't have a backbone of some good Virginia. I could see that. This is high grade Virginia tobacco here. And if you're in despair over the McClellan thing, don't, because there is excellent stuff like this out there. Cornell and Deal Virginia Flake, and it's worth giving a shot. The stuff isn't terribly expensive. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish this bowl. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed the kind of the first impression, the talk about this Cornell and Deal Virginia Flake. And my next video, I got a new Peterson, so I'm probably going to do a video on that here shortly. So until then, Treetop Piper, over and out.